The first doctor said I have to stop with everything that I went to. And that was a shock for me. So I went to another doctor, but he helped me and he said that it's a serious disease. Honestly, it's a serious. But as long as you treat it right, you do what you have to do, you can perform or you can do whatever you want like someone else. So that was a double motivation, proving to the people who say Pär is finished because he have diabetic, prove to them that I'm better what they are thinking, and also knowing that what the doctor told me, who knows it, that it's possible if I treat it right and I take care about it, it's possible. So that was my mission.
Today's guest is someone I never imagined I'd one day sit down with. Pär Zetterberg is a former top footballer, best known for his legendary career at Belgium First Division club RSC Anderlecht, where he became one of the most influential midfielders of his generation. He won multiple league titles, was twice awarded the Belgian Golden Shoe, and remains a true icon of Belgian football. Pär was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 19, right in the middle of his professional career. At a time when diabetes technology and support were far more limited than today, he not only continued playing, but reached the very top of his sport. On a personal note, as a kid in the 90s, I used to collect Panini football stickers, and I clearly remember that Pär's sticker was missing from my album for a long time. I eventually managed to trade it with a classmate at school to finally complete my album. So today feels a bit surreal sitting down with one of my childhood heroes, not just to talk about football, but about diabetes, discipline, and everything that comes with it. So Pär, thank you so much for joining me today and welcome to the Out of Range podcast.
Yeah, thank you to have me. It's a pleasure.
How's your day going so far?
So far it's going okay. It's wintry here in Sweden, snowing, cold. Just being out with a dog, so it's okay.
Good day, yes. So Pär, when people look back at your career, they see trophies, big games, and success. But if you had to describe who Pär Zetterberg was behind the scenes during those years, how would you describe yourself?
Motivated, I have to say. I know where I wanted to go. Did everything for reaching it also. But professional. Know when I had to rest, when I had to train. This is different because now it's the late 2020s and I was playing in the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s. That era is completely different than how it is now. So it was focus because we have to come to it anyway. Because in the start of my career, really, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetic in 1990.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was no internet. Where can I read about the disease? Where can I find out about the disease? What does it mean? Do I need to take a pill? That was the first question that I asked the doctor. Can I take a pill? No, you can't. You have to take injection. For what?
Yeah.
And then it started the procedure, and at that time, there was not many professional athletes who had diabetic at that time. There was one in Tottenham, Gary Mabbott. If you put up his name, I think he was one of the first in Premier League at that time. So, and the first doctor I went to, and even in the club in Anderlecht, there were people who was doubting because we didn't know about the disease. It's something new, and I was lucky. The first doctor said I have to stop with everything that I went to. And that was a shock for me. So I went to another doctor. I asked the club to send me to another doctor, and I went to Professor Haredorshi, who suddenly passed away 1.5, 2 years ago. But he helped me, and he said that it's a serious disease. Honestly, it's a serious. But as long as you treat it right, you do what you have to do, you can perform or you can do whatever you want like someone else. And only that he said that changed my mind, everything, and I was starting to become even more focalized and wanted to prove to the people who said that I was finished. So that was a double motivation, proving to the people who say Pär is finished because he have diabetic, prove to them that I'm better what they are thinking, and also knowing that what the doctor told me, who knows it, that it's possible if I treat it right and I take care about it, it's possible. So that was my mission.
So yeah, and that's great to have someone who tells you, like a doctor who says, okay, you can do it. It's very important, because I remember being diagnosed in the 90s, and back then I also got that message like, no, it's not possible.
Yeah, but that was the first one who told me. The first doctor told me
Yeah.
that. But I said, I'm not listening to him. I go to someone else.
That's great. Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
find somebody else who could explain it very well. And he told me that diabetic is a very serious disease. If you treat it well, you can have a perfect life. You can have a perfect life. If you don't treat it well, if you don't take your injections, or you have high blood sugar for a long time, things like that, your life gonna be miserable. You're gonna have problems. One
Yeah,
after
you say
another.
if you treat it well, but this was long before CGMs, smart pumps, or
Yeah.
modern sports nutrition. So how did you
Yeah,
actually manage diabetes day to day as a professional footballer?
I try to manage it. I try to follow what worked for me, in the way of when I was training, when I was playing games and things like that. And I never change it. If it was a game, if we played at 3 o'clock or if we play at 8 o'clock at that time, the insulin is different than you have today. There's quicker insulin. At that time, I had Actrapid, a kind of insulin Actrapid. And that takes about half an hour to 1 hour before it reacts. And it lasts for 4 hours in your body. So I try to eat always 4 hours before a game. Never 3 hours, 3.5, always 4 hours. And I always try to eat the same food, because then I know that I never will have any problem during my games. So I always eat, okay, if the game was at 8 o'clock, I always eat 4 o'clock, 3:30, I took the injection. If I played at 3 o'clock, I eat at 11 o'clock, I took the injection 10:30, because then I know when the game starts, the insulin in my body was gone. So I never had any problems when I was playing a game. Never.
Yeah.
So you have to try to find a way of manage it the best way you can do it. And it's not maybe always fun to always eat the same things before a game and like that, but what can you do? If it works for you, it's you continue with it.
So you were working with a blood glucose meter at that point, right? So how did
In
you
the finger.
organize that around the game?
In the finger. Oh, I took it in before the game and in the halftime.
Okay. Yeah, that's a long time actually not to have. I mean, now it seems like a long time not to have your data.
But you get used to it, and as I was so calculated with my insulin, so I know how my body reacts. If I was eating and what I was eating, and that I always inject it 4.5 hours before the game, and I know that the insulin stays until 4 hours in the body, so that means that the insulin is gone when the game starts.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I remember that I used Actrapid, and was it then Insulatar also?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the 90s. But I basically had to know what I was going to eat for dinner when I did my morning insulin, because you had the long-acting insulin.
We were often in the hotels and things like that, so I
Yes.
always know what we're gonna eat.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's important to have that controlled environment. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the problems that you have with it is that if you go to a restaurant, if you go somewhere where you have not been before, and you inject something, and then the food is coming, and you don't like the food, okay,
Yes.
that's a problem. But if you always go to the same hotel, and that you know what the kind of food it is, and that you like the food, you know that you're going to eat it, then it's no problem.
Yes.
So things like that, you have to think. People maybe, yeah, but you can take you in the, yeah, but am I going to eat the food or not eat the food? Am I going to like the
Indeed.
food or not? So you have to.
So there is, of course, carbs and insulin are very important in diabetes management, but sometimes there are other factors that can influence your blood sugar. Did you, for instance, see any difference between match days from a diabetes perspective? Were they any different from regular training for you?
I don't know, because that's with the stress relation, where if you're nervous and things like that. Uh, and I know when you're more, you're focused and you have adrenaline and things like that. What they are saying is not, it's not coming from me. What they're saying, the doctors, is that the body hold the hippo, so you never go down really down because you're so focused and concentrated. It's like many times when you drive a car. Okay, if you have had just the insulin just before taking the car, you can have a hippo. But if you haven't taken insulin just before taking a car or playing a game, the body manages it with the adrenaline to keep it above the hippo. But when you stop it and the adrenaline goes down, then it goes down directly.
Yeah.
That's what they are telling. And I never had it during a game. So I think that it's a part of it, that you're so focalized and you're concentrated that your body manage to prevent the big hippos, if you say like that. Maybe the sugar is going down, but the big hippos doesn't never affected me on the game anyway.
Yeah, what
So
you hear sometimes is that people say, when they're very stressed, their sugars go up and they can get hyper. But it's not all athletes that have that. I mean, some of them have it more when there's a big game, because they are stressed. But maybe you were just quite relaxed when you went on the pitch.
I was relaxed. I was not nervous or anything. I was motivated. I wanted, because the adrenaline was there and things like that. And that maybe did that. It kept my sugar in a good basics. As I told you, I never had hippo during a game. Never. And I played for a
Never.
long time. Never. But I
Wow.
had
So many
hip.
games.
Yeah, it's many. And I never had it. But I had it during trainings. Because
Okay. Yeah. So that's interesting to hear. So there were no moments on the pitch when you felt your blood sugar was affecting your game at all?
never, 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 never when I was playing. Never. Not what I can remember. Never. But it happened rather often when I was training.
Many people associate you with discipline and intelligence on the pitch. How much of that was shaped by diabetes, do you think?
I think most of it. Most of it. You have to have a disciplined life if you have diabetic. Uh, you have to know in advance everything. You have to program everything in a certain way. You can't live with a backpack in on your back. You have to know exactly what you're going to do, and if you're going to go out on a restaurant, what am I going to eat, and small things like that. If you go to the cinema, and if you do this, if you go out with your friends, and everything is discipline, knowing exactly what you're doing. Because if you don't, a small moment can be very bad for you. It could
So,
be.
did you already have that discipline, that level of discipline before you got diabetes? Because you describe it like it's something natural, but it doesn't come natural to everyone to be as disciplined as you were. You say, like, I eat the same thing, I make sure that my sugars are are good that way. I never had a hypo because of that. So was it already in you before and then sharpened by diabetes?
I think at a certain point, maybe I had a little bit. I don't say that I had like I was during my career, but I wanted to become the best. So if you have to do it, you have to do some certain sacrifice. You have to do certain things. That was my thing of proving it, and I think that being so disciplined and certain other things due to the fact that I'm diabetic helped my career also in a positive way. I
Did you
think so.
feel ever that you had to prove yourself more than other athletes because you had type 1 diabetes?
No, only in the beginning. Only in the beginning, before I had proven to the people who thought that I was finished. Then I had a feeling that I had to prove it. But after a while, when you starting perform well and things like that, it was like a normal thing. Everyone know it that I was diabetic, and I didn't see any different in me than someone else. Nor the players, nor the board, or the people who worked in the club, or the trainers, or the press, or anything. So that was a big win for not only for myself but also for the community of type 1 diabetes.
So you were always open about your diabetes in the dressing room. It was not something that you only carried on your own, like many people do. They are a little bit afraid of showing their diabetes to the world, but you say you were very open about it.
Yeah, I was open. I was showing it. I took my injections and things like that. They know that I had it. But that's a different generation than it is now. Now if somebody gets diabetic, yeah, what do? They go on internet and I search for it. Okay, what can I do? What can't I do? When we got it in the 90s, you couldn't go on internet. So what you have to do is asking people. So the best way when I got it and started to play and things like that, yeah, what did I do? Yeah, I was on TV. I was in with journalists because that's the only way to communicate about the disease. Otherwise, you couldn't get it out. And I went to schools, I went to reunions and talked to people and tried to help the young ones and things like that because that's the way that we did in the 90s.
I really admire that because that way you pave the path for all of us, type 1s to be more accepted. Because I remember it was quite different in the 90s. I was diagnosed in the 90s. And I was, for instance, quite afraid of showing it to other people, even in my classroom at school. I would just go to the toilet, to the bathroom to inject insulin because I would be afraid of what people would think, because often these syringes were associated with other things than diabetes.
Yeah.
So you would be like, I would try to hide it a little bit. You never felt like that.
I had it in the beginning, definitely. Definitely, I had it in the beginning because if I say something else, I'm lying. Because, like you're saying, when you should take your injection, people were watching much more before, due to the fact that the injections was more drug injections. You have to
Yes.
fill them up like you're taking a drug or something. So they are not so nice like they are now, the injections. And then you get a weird reaction if you sit in a restaurant and you show it for everyone and you take out the drug injection like it looks like. Then people should watch, and that you didn't want to do the first years. But after a while, you say, I don't care if they want to watch.
Yes.
Watch. That's their
Yeah.
problem if they.
Yeah. In hindsight, do you think diabetes changed in any way the way you trained or recover?
How do you mean?
Like, did you adapt your training in any way to fit your diabetes? Or did you feel, for instance, that recovery was harder because of your diabetes?
No, nothing at all. I always listen to my body. If my body say that it's tired, I try to take my rest and like that in the afternoons and things like that, because you had time to do it as a professional footballer. You had time to take your rest, and so I always listen on my body all the time. When it was tired, I took my rest. So that I think is the main thing that you have to do. You always have to listen to signals of your body, because your body is talking to you all the time when you have diabetic. If something is wrong, I don't know if you can feel it, but I can feel 2-3 days before I'm gonna have become sick or something, because then I start to see my CGMs results is starting to float like this, and I say, what is this now? So I know, okay, I'm gonna get sick. Okay, so if you listen to your body, you can manage it rather well, I think. Mm, For me,
Yeah, and you are also forced to do that because you have diabetes. You have to learn how to listen to your body very well, because you always have the direct feedback of your glucose that shows what you do. So in a way, do you think that actually was an advantage to you? Did you know your body better than, for instance, your teammates?
I think so. Yeah, I think so, because I because I was lacking of something. I was lacking of insulin. If you don't have insulin, yeah, you need to compensate it with something else. I say the pancreas is not working for us was type 1 diabetic. So that means that it's like we are driving a car who is manual. We put in the first gear, the second gear, third gear, and fourth gear. Sometimes it becomes a problem. So instead of putting in the second gear, we put in the third. Becomes problem. Normal people, they're automatic. They never any problem. They always put in the right gear. So what you have to do is to listen all the time what is happening, because if you don't do it, you're going to have problems. You're going to do some small mistakes, and if you don't listen when you do small mistakes, it can turn out bad, very bad. So I think that I've learned to understand my body much better in pair with diabetic. If I was not diabetic, then I should be okay. I'm a little bit tired. Okay, why am I tired? If I was not diabetic, I shouldn't start to investigate why I was tired of that. But that's maybe my way of seeing things.
Yeah, you also said you were very disciplined with your food. For instance, I can imagine at that time. I mean, now modern sports nutrition footballers are really looking at that too, but maybe at that time it was less the case, and people would look less at nutrition as something. And you had to do that, right? Because you really had to figure it out, because otherwise your diabetes would just not go right.
Yeah, I had to eat the things that I know worked with my diabetic. I was eating, pizza and things like that also, but I eat the things that I know that I didn't have any problems with my diabetic, that I had it under control, that I can react in different ways.
So
And that,
did you also eat at halftime? Did you eat
no,
during the match? No,
no,
never.
no, never,
Interesting.
never.
And you played at the highest level for many, many years. What kept you going during the hardest periods?
You mean with the disease?
Yeah, for instance, if your diabetes was not going well, sometimes it's very random. It can happen that that's something that you have a period where your diabetes management is a little bit off track. Or do you say my diabetes management was always on track?
It was mostly on track, so I didn't have any problems. Then things happened, that I had a hippo in the hotels and things like that, of course. But you have to put that aside. You're living with a disease, and shit happens sometimes. Uh, it is a disease, and at that time you didn't have an alarm or anything, so sometimes you couldn't manage it because you didn't get any uh, sounds on your telephone or anything like that you are too low. So sometimes you went too far.
So when you retired from football, how did your relationship with diabetes change?
Um, Nothing special. I'm so used to live with it. What has really changed is the evolution with all the new insulins and CGMs and alarms and all those kinds of things. Who is improving so much. I only say if the young ones now, who are maybe young ones, and I see how we were manage it in the 90s, then I should say, oh, that's too complicated. So that that one, the evolution is going the right track. This becomes better and better. The insulin pumps get better and better. So it's that is very positive. The only negative thing is that you don't have a cure yet, but that's going to take a while.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, I think that's a long time to know.
So, but some people say when you stop performing at, at that high level and training every day and doing match days, you will probably need more insulin. So, did you see that change your insulin dosing after your career? I mean, after your career as a footballer?
No, I still continue to train all the time because training, like you told me yourself, that when you're training, your sugar level and all the things keep on track. And if I should stop training, my sugar level should go up. It should be more floating and things like that. So I'm training 5, 6, 7 times a week, nearly every day. So due to the fact that I'm feeling better, my body is better, my sugar level is much better. So I never stopped since I stopped playing. And that is 20 years ago.
Yeah. So that's nice. You stayed active actually after your
Yeah.
career because
Yeah.
you felt that the benefits were so big for your body and for your diabetes management, and you managed to find the motivation to still do that even though you were not doing it at the professional level anymore and you were not playing matches anymore. You still kept active. That's very, very nice to see, because you hear sometimes that top sportsmen, when they stop their career, they are a little bit less active and they change their lifestyle. But was it your diabetes that actually motivated you, or gives you the motivation still to train that much?
Yeah, much of it. I don't say everything, but a big part of it is due to the fact that my doctor, who sadly passed away, like I told you, he also told me the best medicine for diabetic is training.
Yeah, that's a very important message.
That's the best thing you can do is training. Find your training. It doesn't mean that you have to run for 2 hours, but find a training who suits you and manage your blood sugar in a good level. And you will feel it. If I'm staying 2 days without doing anything, I see directly on my blood sugar level start changing directly. It changed directly. So I have to train every day. If not, so then yeah. But that's stupid me. But then I continue to do the same things like I've always been doing. So
Yeah, there are also, many people say there are also mental benefits to doing exercise. How do you feel about that?
yeah, probably. Um, you know, I I still hoped that I could still play football and things like that because that was the best thing that you could do. But and now I find paddle, so I play a lot of paddle, and you can compete in paddle also. So I'm competing in
Yes.
paddle also. So so I have a new career, if you say like that. So there is the
The
same
competitive
motivation.
mindset is still there.
Yeah, you didn't know I'm training. I'm playing with the veteran national team in Sweden. So we play against Belgium
Wow.
national team. So I play World
Amazing.
Championship. I play European Championship in paddle. So that's a motivation to do that again.
Yes,
So
there is no stopping you.
no, but I need those kinds of things, because then you have a
Yes,
motivation to continue, and it's easier then to do the trainings and to manage your blood sugar and everything. And if you put it all in a bin, if you say like that, in a pool, everything get positive things from it. Your body gets more shape, your sugar is better, and your health is better. So I
yes.
mean, I've been now for 30, what is it, 36 years, 37, and I have no complication whatever. If it's always in my eyes, in my kidneys, in my toes, or you don't see it then nowhere.
Yeah,
So
that's a
that,
very important message because that's something you don't think about when you're diagnosed immediately because it's still far away, usually, the complications. But it can get me. I had uh, retinopathy. They told me I had retinopathy at some point. That's in your eyes and that can make you go blind. There are complications to diabetes if you don't treat it well. But these are only in the long term. Sometimes it can seem like it's not motivating you because it's too far away, but they are still there. And an active lifestyle can really help you to prevent these. I think that's very important what you say. You know, you're still healthy now and you will be for a long time because you're so active.
yeah, hopefully you can prevent it as long as possible. You never know if it will happen, because it's a disease. You never know how the body will react. But as long as you stay healthy, you're training, you do your exercise, your discipline in doing it, you lesser complication you will have in your life. And so that's a bonus for me, because like you, I would never have any complication if it's so blindness, to have dialysis in because the kidneys is malfunction, or uh, you start to get you know have to cut up the half of the leg or something like that, because
Oh, yeah,
no,
amputations.
because it's
Yeah.
many different of kind of disease you can have if you don't do it the right way. So, and I said I would try to do my best not to have any complication.
Yes.
Then you never know what will happen in the future. You never know. But so far it has worked out okay, and I had it for 36 years. So
Are you using a pump now or are you still on
no
injections?
injection. I'm maybe gonna use pump. I'm still thinking about it, because there's so many new pumps who is start to get interesting. And I don't want to have one with a, how do you call it,
Tubes.
tubes. You have Omnipod 5 and things like that, who is without.
Yeah, I have that. Yes.
I think that one is more my way of living, because that you have to change every 3 days, I think, or something.
Yeah. Yes, yes. And also you can take a shower with it. That's very
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
You
things
don't
like
have to
that.
take it off.
It's more things. You don't. If you have it, you have to have the insulin pump in the bed when you're sleeping and things like that.
Yes.
Uh, Now you can put your telephone, because I suppose that you are controlling it with your telephone.
It's still a controller right now, but in the US, it's already with a telephone. So
Yeah,
it will come to
yeah.
Europe as well. Yeah.
So is that what I'm meaning? So that's the thing that I'm watching. But so far, I'm still lying in 85 in the regions. What I have to lay. If you look, if you have
Time in
above
range.
above certain areas where you have to be above and below and over.
Yeah.
So I'm still in the good 85, 86%.
Yeah. Time in range. Yes. That's very important. And what I see, for myself, what I can say since I moved to a pump is that my nights are better in general.
Yeah.
I can go
Yeah.
to sleep and I know that in the morning my sugar will be good. Whereas before, it would depend. Sometimes if you trained very hard or if you had a big meal in the evening, it could go wrong, but the pump will correct that now. So that's for me, because I can't look at my sugar all the time at night, right? So if it goes a little bit too high, yeah, I couldn't correct it before and it would just happen, but now the pump does that. So that's
Yeah,
one of the benefits.
is that what I'm looking to? Because that's one of the main problem. Is it's in the night, especially when it goes up, that you have no reaction. Because if I eat a pasta or something at 7 o'clock in the evening or something like that, then the blood sugar is okay till I go to bed. If I go to bed 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock, but then at 1, 2 o'clock, it's like
Right.
Eiffel Tower. It goes up because the reaction is coming later. So I wake up because it's too high. And then I have to take injections for getting it down. And if you then take too much, yeah, you're going to wake up because it's going too far down. And then
Yeah,
you get
your
a shit
alarm will
night.
go off.
Yeah, and then the alarm. So then you
And
get
then you don't
that.
sleep well.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I was thinking of maybe doing it. And so that's a decision I'm going to take now in spring. In the spring, if I'm
Great.
going to do it,
Yes.
because I also have if I'm training hard training, because I know with that, because if I'm training hard trainings, I should take the insulin in the evening, the day insulin. You always have a kind of insulin in your body. So when you're training hard, because the night insulin is longer now than it were before. Insulata was only 18 hours. So I didn't have it when I was playing games. I didn't have it so. But now I have it when I'm training. So often when you train, the sugar goes down because you're using so much glucose and things like that in your muscles. And then I always have to put in dextro and things like that to keeping a good balance. And I
Yeah. You
think
have always have insulin on board. Yeah.
and I think with Omnipod it should be better. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
because you have another, I always say you have another lever to pull. You can not only change your bolus or your carbs, but you can also change your basal insulin. And you couldn't do that before. You had to put the basal insulin the day before and it would work all day. You can't change that. But if you're doing intense training, for instance, when I did Ironman, it's very important not to have too much insulin on board
Yeah,
when you're doing that.
yeah,
So that way you can regulate that, and that's really a benefit, I would say.
yeah. It's that was I was thinking, because if I'm doing a hard training, and I'm not joking now, I can eat 4 packets of Dextro, and
Wow.
there is 12 tablets in one,
Yes, yes. That's
and
a lot.
I can eat 4 of them. Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
That's yeah, that's a decision you will have to make, but yeah,
So
it's a new
that means,
technology, so maybe
yeah.
you could
So
try it.
but that is because of the new insulin who is
Yeah,
coming. They are different than the
very
old one, of
fast.
course.
Yeah, they're very fast.
So you have to change with it, and that's the problem sometimes. So that's good that I know it. Then I'm gonna look even more on Omnipod to try it.
So growing up for a long time, I didn't even know you had diabetes, at least not until I was diagnosed myself. And people told me, look at Per, he has diabetes and he's doing sports and he's such a top footballer. Today, many young athletes look for role models with type 1. How does it feel for you knowing that your career proves that this is possible to young people?
It's always good to have somebody who can prove it, whatever kind of disease you have, and that I could have proven it for my generation. If it's always for you, or if somebody else who's growing up with it, and see that it's possible, because even though we are affected by it, this terrible, bad disease as it is, difficult disease, that we can still manage it as well as a normal person and doing a career, whatever we want to do. that's a positive thing, that every child grown up have the ambition to do whatever they want. And that I could have helped with that, I'm very proud of it.
Yes, and you should be.
And yeah, and now I see in Belgium, only in Belgium, I see that there's so many more diabetic football players in first
Yes.
division, in first division. So that's I don't say it's because of me, or absolutely not, but maybe that is a small, how do you say it,
Small win.
small win or whatever, that maybe have grown somewhere in their parents or somewhere else.
Yeah.
I hope so anyway. But it's important that we talk about it. That's the only thing.
And do you think that the perception of diabetes in the elite sports has evolved? Because you say there are more players now. Is it also because the perception is different?
Yeah, the information is much better now than it was before. And there is also more diabetic athletes in different kind of sports who make results. You know, there is who do the Olympic Games. There are who win uh, big tournaments, and football players and everywhere who make results even with the diabetic. So that's positive for our community. For that I see that if he can do it or she can do it, I can also do it. But it's all up to me.
Yes,
So
and that's why I'm interviewing all these athletes. I didn't know actually before I started the series. I did not know that there were so many athletes in so many different sports with type 1 diabetes. And it's great to see that now, because in the 90s it was very different, that now there are so many athletes who also say, I have type 1 diabetes and I'm proud of it. I don't want to hide it. And they are doing all these great things, and I think it's really inspiring to see that.
yeah, I'm so happy with it. So every time I see a diabetic football player or whatever, I always hold on them. I'm always it is like that. If you see a runner
Yes.
who is diabetic with,
Yes.
you're okay. I'm even if I don't know it, okay. I hope that one will win. Yes,
Yeah.
it works like that. I don't know why. I think it's the same for you. It
Team
it it
diabetes.
yeah, but it is a little bit like that. And I
Yes.
think if you go back to it, that now it's much more people who are more famous in different kind of sports. But in our generation, when we grow up, the most of them get the same response as you get and I got from my first doctor. It's better that you stop because you can't do anything. So many of the people before stopped instead of continue.
So building on that, if you could speak directly to someone who has just been diagnosed and is afraid that their dreams might be over, what would you tell them?
There's one thing who is the most important when you get diabetic. Accept it. Accept it.
Yes.
If you don't accept it, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a big problem. It's never going to go away. Or you accept it, or you're going to have a shit life.
Yeah.
It's hard to say it, but that's the reality.
It's true, but I feel that is very true. But I think it can also take time because it's a trauma often, diabetes.
Of
And
course, I don't say it's not a trauma. You have to as quicker you can accept it, because I didn't accept it in the beginning. I think I was crying the first 2 weeks, and I cried every night, every day, honestly. But and then my doctor told me, who helped me so much. It's thanks to him that I managed to do it like I did, Harry Dorshi. He said, you have to accept it. That's the most important, because it can't go away. And then you have to do the best from it.
that's a
And
great
and
message.
if you accept it, you start to learn how you have to manage it. And on that you can manage your life how you
Yes.
want. But if you don't accept it, it's always going to be in the back of your head. and it always going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. And that speaks to me, especially because I think I didn't accept my diabetes for a long time, for almost 15 years. It's only when I started doing sports that I found a way to live with it that was balanced and that I felt okay with. And I felt I had more control, because if you have no control, it's very hard to accept it. So you need to gain. I found that I had to gain control first, and exercise was for me a big factor in gaining more control over my diabetes management.
Yeah, that you have to find your way of having it. So the best way for you, not the best way for me or for you or for somebody else. What's the best way for you?
Yes.
So that is the most important. It's not what the best is for your parents. It's not what the best is for your wife. It's not best way for your husband or whatever. It's what's the best for you. That is the most important. You do it for yourself. You don't do it for anyone else. If you are feeling bad, or if you have bad sugar level, or if you have good sugar level, it's no one else who will feel it. The only one who will feel it is you. You will feel bad, or you will feel good. So that's hard. It's reality, but that's life. That was one of the main problems who was before, when I was going out in schools and things like that and taught to young ones. The problem in the 90s at that time, in the early 2000 also, is that especially the young ones, and now I'm talking 10 years, 11, 12 years, they are a little bit shy of showing that they are diabetic. Like we were in the beginning, we were embarrassed to take the injection in public and things like that. But for them, it's even more to do it with their friends when they are going out in taking a golf waffle or whatever like that, where it's a lot of sugar. So they eat the waffle without taking an injection. So they get blood sugar like this, bad managed, because they are afraid or they are ashamed of it.
They don't want to be different.
Yeah, that's one of the problems. That was before anyway. And now I hope it's much better now, because that's a little bit one of the things that accept it. And it's easy to say, I know it's very easy, but you're gonna have a better life if you accept it, and no one will look differently on you, even if it's difficult for young ones. I understand it. It's difficult, but seeing us, you can still have a good life, even with the disease. So.
I think Pär, that's a great message. I feel like I could keep on talking to you for a long time, because it's something we're both passionate about, obviously. But to end on a playful note, I would like to just ask you a few quick fire questions, and you can just give me a short answer if you're okay with that.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. What's your favorite hypo snack?
I always eat Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always eat this.
It's something Belgian, I think, because it's something I also use still. They taught it to me like so many years ago.
This is the easiest. This is the easiest. There's no flavor. It's no flavor. It's no taste. I've been doing this for as long as it exists. I think 30
Yes.
years or something.
Big European night or national title decider? What did you enjoy most?
National title decider, because then you can win something.
Yes. If you could speak to your 19-year-old self, what's one thing you would say?
I'm proud of you.
Discipline or talent? What's the most important?
It's so many people who is talented, but not everyone is disciplined. I think that discipline makes a difference if you want to succeed in the higher sport. because you can't only be talented. So I go discipline.
What's worse, hyper or hyper?
High blood sugar, high. That's I don't like it. I don't like it. The feeling in my body, in my no, I don't like it.
Perfect pass or a decisive goal?
Decisive goal, because then you win the game. You win the game. Then.
Yes. Did you have a pre-match ritual?
Yeah, like everyone, I think.
What was your ritual?
Left jambier. You know what jambier is?
Yes.
Yeah, always that before the right one. The left one, left sock before the right one, but the right shoe before the left.
Have you ever used your diabetes as an excuse?
No.
That went great. Thank you. How did you experience this conversation, Pär?
Perfect. Was nice. Was nice talking to you.
If other Type 1s want to connect with you, where can they find you online?
Oh, I don't know. Instagram, I suppose.
Instagram.
I
I will put
suppose.
your handle then.
I think Instagram is the best way, because that one is open. So some I don't say everyone, but most of the people, if it's okay questions and things like that, then I can answer. If it's stupid questions, no, I don't know.
But they can follow you on Instagram, right? Yes.
Of course, it's open, so they can ask questions and like that. And most of the time, I see it when I have time. So, and then I answer if I have time.
Great. So what are your plans for the new year 2026?
Staying healthy. Take day by day, and hope that my if you see that I don't get any injuries, I can play Padel.
Yes.
And that my diabetic it's keeping steady, and maybe that I find some new technology or cure for disease, that it becomes even simpler, easier.
Yes. Never stop learning.
No, never stop. I've had it so many years, but every day is a challenge. Every day is a new challenge. It changes every day. It's strange.
Pär, thank you so much for this conversation. What
My
makes your
pleasure.
story so powerful is not just what you achieved on the pitch, but when and how you did it. Because at a time when diabetes was far less understood and supported, you proved that discipline, self-knowledge, and perseverance can carry you further than people think. And for me personally, this conversation closes a circle that started with a Panini sticker album in the 90s. But for many others, your story continues to open doors and shift beliefs about what is possible with type 1 diabetes. So I wish you all the very best, and thank you for being open and honest with me today.
My pleasure. And take care. It was an honor.
Thank
to
you
be
so
here.
much, Pär. Thank you
Thanks,
so
sir.
much.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to Out of Range, the podcast that shares real stories from athletes living and thriving with type 1 diabetes. I hope today's conversation inspired you to get active, take control, and find your own balance in sport and in life. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and follow the show, or share it with someone who might benefit from hearing these stories. Every recommendation helps more people with type 1 diabetes discover the power of movement. And in the meanwhile, keep learning, keep moving, and keep your glucose in range.